Hey everyone, and welcome in to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. I'm Tim Sohn here, hanging out with my red wall in Pennsylvania, and I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this episode. But first, I'm going to turn it over to my good friend Jim Fuse with his brick wall over there and his fancy poster.
Yes, the fancy poster. I need to get some more fancy posters because you can actually get these made off of any picture you have. That's what my friend Chris Stone gave this to me as a gift. So thank you, Chris. I know I've said thank you before, but I'm now doing it publicly just in case there was anybody that didn't know how the poster came about. But doing great. Had a great time at Podcast Movement. Met a lot of people. Got to reunite with some people. Got to see the Ecamm fam. They were doing amazing things, and so that's why I put in the comments. I'm neither team. I'm team Lion Coffee from Hawaii. Doc Rock brought some.
Ooh, shout out to Hawaii.
That is the coffee bomb. It makes those other two like they're like kids. So
wow. But Brian Kennedy is Team Duncan. Shannon Epps, what are you? Which coffee team are you?
Brian Kennedy has done a couple of videos I've seen on social media. So Brian Kennedy, good job. Keep it up. Glad to see that you're finally getting over your shyness on video, because I know he's not a shy person. That's for sure.
Yes. But Jim Fuse, who do we have down below down here?
Well, we have a very special guest, Shannon Epps, who so Tim, you are the one that met Shannon first. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Shannon?
Yeah, so I met Shannon through LinkedIn, through the LinkedIn circle of life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I want to turn it over to Shannon so she can tell us all about herself. And I'm also curious about the paintings on her wall also.
Oh, yeah. So I'll start with the paintings first.
Okay.
Like I had family members and friends do the art. So except for the one behind me, that's by Home Goods. But the rest of them, yeah, I have family and friends like because I love art. I'm not the best artist. I can stick to, like the stick figures and trees. That's my thing, but I'm not good with art. So but yeah, I am a virtual services specialist. I started my own business, my own VA business earlier this year. So I provide admin services to entrepreneurs who want to leave their jobs and experience full-time entrepreneurship. So I'm new, but into the game.
That's incredible. And what inspired you to make the switch?
Yeah, burnout. Actually, I've been burned out at my job. I'm actually a licensed social worker in the state of Maryland, and I worked in a hospital. So during COVID, it was like a lot of stuff I didn't want to see, and it was just too much. And I was like, I'm tired. So I started praying because I'm a big prayer. And I was praying to God, like, please help me get out of here. And I came across virtual assistants on TikTok. So I was like, okay, I can do this. I do it at my job, admin work, I do it at my job for myself. Why not do it for me and all that stuff? And I actually have a nonprofit too. So I do admin stuff there. So I was like, it just makes sense. So I took a leap, left my job, and like 6 days later, I had my first client. So, things work out all the time. So, yeah.
Wow. That's awesome.
Thank you.
And I definitely, well, first of all, I want to thank you for all the sacrifices you made as a social worker. I know it's not easy. No. And a lot of people need that help because, right, you're really dealing in the mental health space.
Yeah.
And I can see where that could be very draining.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot. Yeah, it's tough. It's good work, but after a while, you just get like, I know I did, and a lot of people did, and a lot of people in the healthcare field actually left after COVID. So just got to take care of yourself. I mean, I realized that after I started getting like upset and anxious, and I was like, I got to take care of myself. I can't take care of other people until I take care of myself. So I had to leave.
Uh-oh. Yeah. Did she freeze?
Yes.
Oh,
she's okay.
Hey,
she's okay on my end.
Oh, I'm still talking. I was like, did I freeze?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay.
But today we're going to be talking about how to work smarter and not harder. First, I just want to thank a few people who are tuning in. We have so many people who tune in each week. Catherine Lang is here. She says, "Yay, Tim, Jim, and Shannon. Wow, not sure how to top this." Yeah, I don't know. This is an amazing guest. I don't know. And Dana is here. Says, "Hey, everyone tuning in from Jacksonville, Florida. Shout out to Jacksonville. Thanks for being here."
I lived there 4 years, Tim.
Oh wow.
You were born at least, but it was late 90s.
I was born. Was I just a baby or
You might have been in high school. I don't know.
Okay. Stefan is here. He says, "Here we go. T and J time." Yeah, T and J. Maybe we should rename our show the T and J show. I don't know. Maybe we need some rebranding. I don't know. Bobby says he's team Starbucks. I put in the comments, "Are you team?" Ooh, yours team. I don't know if we could be friends anymore. I don't know.
Oh,
we'll see.
But did you? I'm just kidding. I'm gonna upset all the Starbucks people, Tim. Should I do it?
What are you gonna say?
They burn all their beans.
They what?
They burn the beans?
They burn their beans.
They burn the beans.
They burn the beans.
Oh no.
I don't know. But Brian is team Duncan.
Team Lion.
He's team Duncan. And Rich is team homemade green tea.
Ah, there you go, Rich.
Jim is team Lion Coffee. Ask Sean Boyd. Paging Sean Boyd.
Yes, Doc Rock. On LinkedIn, he's Sean.
And Chris Stone says, "You're welcome. Shout out to the Bears, Turkeys, and the great Tim Stone." Well, thank you, Chris Stone. And Chris says, "LinkedIn stream today is being weird, joining for a few on YouTube." Well, shout out to the weird LinkedIn. We had problems on showing up last night, showing up Perspectives on Cancer. Our guest had to join on her phone. Me and Erica were on video and our guest was on audio because she just could not get on for anything it was cutting in and out like crazy. Anyway, thank you. We see you, Gail Robertson. Thanks for being here. We see Laura Fuller is here. Thank you for being here. And she says, "I like roasting the beans." Oh, and get this. Catherine Lang says, "Forget the P and J. It's time for T and J."
That's the slogan.
And
Bobby Lee says, "Shout out to working smarter." Hey, Bobby Lee.
And by the way, Tim, that's a shout out to my cousin Laura. So, cousin Laura, thanks for showing up.
Oh, shout out to your cousin.
Yes.
Your cousin that was here last time, too.
Yes.
Thank you, cousin, for coming back. Wow, look at this. A recurring cousin.
Yeah.
At least we have one fan besides Stephen Kaplan and Catherine. So that's good to know. We have some fans. Tim. We're making progress.
Yes. Okay. Well, what do you think? Guys? Should we start the conversation? I mean, we could just talk about coffee and comments all day. We could turn this into the coffee and comments show.
Yeah.
Or we could talk about working smarter and not harder. What do you think?
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so that's what we're going to talk about, how to work smarter and not harder. So, Jim, do you want to take the first question for Shannon?
I would love to take the first question for Shannon. And that first question would be, what can a business owner do to grow their business?
Yes. I would first say to get help. That's like a big thing, especially like a VA like me, of course. Getting help because you can't do it all yourself. Times where you think you can manage your emails and make calls and things like that, and you can't do it all. You're one person, and the time that you're wasting trying to do everything, you can help, get some help, even if it's a friend or something, even if it's not a VA, to get help to do everything, to make sure everything is in order, because you're not gonna last doing it all by yourself. So I would say, VAs are great people to help you grow your business. I've actually, with my clients, I've helped them make more money because I've made sure I focus on their admin stuff so they could focus on their big goals, those big things that they needed to do. So I was in the back end, working on that small stuff so they could, make things better for the business. So I would say get some help.
and what made you get started as a VA? Because that's definitely something that I think is I mean, if anything, right, we've all realized because we can work remotely, like, hey,
Yeah.
I can actually have a remote team. And that's, I guess, where you come in.
Yeah. Like what I said, when I started, I was suffering burnout from my job as a social worker, and I was just tired, and I knew that I could do admin work. I've been doing it for years. I've been doing it since I actually did like work study in high school. So I knew I could do it. And I'm the type of person that I'm very meticulous and I like things in order. So, I love things organized. I love putting things together. So like it just works for me and it's easy for me. So like I help my clients because it's not as, it may be, issue for them. They may be racking their brains about certain things. So like, why not let me do it where I enjoy doing it, so.
That's great. Great
Mhm.
tips. So Shannon, what is a major skill that can help a business owner?
Yes, I would say implementing systems. A lot of times business owners don't think about it. And I had to learn it, of course, I'm a new business owner. So I had to learn about getting systems, automations, things like that. That's the new hot thing, automations. Putting those systems in place. So you are, those systems are working for you and you don't have to do everything. Like, have a CRM system in place that automates certain things, sends, forms out so you don't have to do it, or, just making those little shifts, so it'll be in place. So you don't have to do it, but it's still getting in order. You can go on vacation and your systems are still doing things for you. So that's working smarter and not harder, putting those systems in place and knowing that you need them, because a lot of times people think like, oh, I can do that, but something that will take a system a couple of seconds to do may take you an hour to do. So
Do you find there's like maybe some particular systems, like when you talk with a client for the first time, that they should maybe start with?
yes, I would say a CRM system. So like for me, because I'm a freelancer, I use Dusado. So that'll send out like someone do like an inquiry form. It'll send out the emails and things like that. So just trying to, when I speak with my client, to see what they actually need, because every system doesn't work for everybody. And learning curves and things like that, it's like all what they can manage as well. So I like to teach them. I'm the type of person where I don't work for you, I work with you. So I'm teaching you along the way, how to work the system if I'm out, or, you need some additional help from somewhere, but it's a team effort. So it's like whatever the client needs. That's kind of social worky too. We learn in school, start with the client is. So you got to see what they can do, what they need, and go from there.
Yeah, systems are so important. Even like for this
Yes.
show, right, Jim? Like we use Calendly in order to book our guests so we can
Mhm.
eliminate so much back and forth with email, trying to figure out questions and getting bios and all those things, right?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
that's
Mhm.
just
and
one.
that's been a big lifesaver. Not to mention too, it also lets them pick the dates, right? Because we have the specific
Yes.
time and date, so
Mhm.
it's not like they just can, pick stuff willy-nilly. That's probably a phrase you haven't heard in a while. Is it okay to say that?
Mhm.
Hashtag willy-nilly. I love
Definitely,
that.
Joey.
Yes, definitely. And we have some comments here. We have um, Rob Statham is here. He says he's been working a ton, just took a break from business, says this is his quietest time of year. And you're so right. You cannot do this alone.
Mhm.
And he had another
Yes.
comment up here too. You cannot do it alone. I have personally felt exhausted a bit lately, took some time off.
Mhm.
Stefan said it's always about working smarter and not harder. Amen. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, thank you for all your comments. Chris Hennessy is here. He
Yes.
says, hey,
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 Chris.
everyone. Yes, thanks for being here, everyone. We really appreciate it. Let us know if you have any questions for Shannon while we're here. We're here on the Tim and Jim show with Shannon Epps. We appreciate you
Yeah.
all being here for sure. Um, so, Jim, do you want to take the next question for Shannon?
Yes. What is one factor that affects a business owner's process?
Yes. I would say that a factor that affects their process is the mindset. It's something that people overlook a lot of times. Because if you don't have your mindset straight, and you can't do anything. And I'm guilty of that too. Those times of, oh, I'm not gonna be able to do this, or those down moments, like, how can I get out of this, or just trying to figure things out. But if you don't have your mindset straight, nothing is gonna succeed. And I think a lot of people, I say it's overlooked, because once you're in the thick of things, sometimes you're like one track mind. You got to get this done. I got to do this, and but once you set yourself, take a breath, and really focus on what you need to do and how to make sure you manage yourself wisely, and once you focus on that and be mindful of it, because a lot of times we're not mindful of certain things, especially when we're in it, but just focusing on that mindset, getting your head straight, getting your head in the game, and it's like, to keep going. So.
Wow.
What do you think about that, Jim? Do you agree with that?
Mindset is everything. I know for me, you gotta have a positive mindset at that, right? If we let ourselves get negative, we tend to, get overwhelmed. And so, part of that is surround yourself with good people, right?
Like Jim
sometimes
Hughes or Shannon Epps.
Yeah.
Like
sometimes the people closest to us, right? Family can be the people that drag us down.
That's true.
Which is, or friends. And it's unfortunate. So I think Jim Rome said it right, that you're the average of the 5 people that you kind of surround yourself with. I think that's very true.
Yeah.
Exactly. And it looks like we may be having some issues on LinkedIn today. So if you're trying to watch over there, come over. If you go to timandjim.live, you can watch over on our YouTube channel, which some people over there are watching. And that URL will take you right to our YouTube channel. And if you're there and you want to subscribe, we wouldn't mind that as well.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. Why not? Since you're there,
while you're there,
that little
subscribe. Go watch all the videos that we put out there previously.
Yeah, I mean, not right now, but yeah. Anyway, we are going to take a brief break for a message from StreamYard, which we use to produce this show almost every single week, and we will be back. And we're gonna, Shannon, do you know how to do the Tim dance?
No, please.
So this is how you do the Tim dance. You go like this, back and forth. Yeah. So when we come back, we're all going to be doing the Tim dance. So here we go. And welcome back, everyone. We are doing the Tim dance, and Jim is looking to the side, but we still love him. And I
was commenting on YouTube. Sorry.
Oh, thank you, Jim. We love you, Jim. And we are on the Tim and Jim show, talking all about, what are we talking about, Jim? Doing the Tim dance.
Working smarter and not harder.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Thank you all for being here. Yay. And yes, and
so, today LinkedIn is working harder, not smarter.
Yes, it's working wonky, like the wonky donkey.
Willy
Shout
nilly.
out to the wonky donkey.
It's working
willy nilly. And we're laughing, and we hope you're laughing too, because
did you see Catherine Lang's comment about she was in court and a lawyer misquoted it and said willy?
Oh no, I didn't see that. Where's that comment? Willy nilly. I was in court when the lawyer misquoted this and said willy, and I totally used this misquote in a novel. Oh my god.
I thought you'd get a kick out of that.
Oh, and Stefan also said Shannon nailed the Tim and the Tim. It's the Tim. Well, the Tim dance.
It's the Tim dance. It's not my dance.
I know, but we're all doing it together. So okay. Anyway, yes. So Shannon, I can't stop laughing. What is one factor?
Everything, so
What is one factor that affects a business owner's process?
Yes. Oh, so like I mentioned, like with the mindset stuff.
Oh, did we already? Did we already ask that question?
Yeah.
Oh,
But it's like a
here's another
total
one. What are some
mindset.
methods that will help you manage time,
Okay.
other than repeating questions or not repeating questions?
But mindset is a process. You got to work on the mindset. So just for the ones who didn't check it. So yeah, so some of the methods that help you manage time, I would say one is time blocking that I do. So like certain days, like Mondays, I'll check emails, or Wednesdays, I know like that's my study time. I do my education stuff. Time blocking definitely helps. Also for me, I do like my schedule like once a week. So like that's Sunday night, I work on my schedule just to make sure everything is in place. So doing that, putting your schedule in place, also going back to systems, that's helping you save time, calendar, acuity, things like that. So you're not dedicating your time to being in the DMs trying to set up meetings and things like that. That helps as well. Also, one big thing that people don't think about is getting a mentor, because you don't know what you don't know. So once you get that mentor, they can help teach you things that it can help you save time. So if someone teaches you a different method of doing something quicker, mentors help with things like that. So yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, and I think I mean, Tim, what are some of your favorite ways to manage your time
Ooh,
besides going to Dunkin'?
well, you got to start the day. You got to start the day by dropping the kiddo off at the bus stop and then going to Dunkin'. Those are two things you got to start. Well, first you got to get up. You
Yeah.
got to get up. You got to get the kiddo to the bus stop. You got to go
Yeah.
to Dunkin'. I make a to-do list every morning, and I put it
Mhm.
in priority order on a piece of paper.
Mhm.
And that's my strategy. I'm kind of old school.
That
What do you
works.
do, Jim? Yeah.
I have a planner that I got from our good friend Dr. I that is like the full year, and so I've got goals. I've got a morning manifest that I read every morning that I worked with Angus Nelson helped me with that in his program, and so yeah, it's repeating things, right? Because if we don't write down and I write it down,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
Because there's something about the magic of
Yeah.
putting pen, or I guess pencil, whichever,
Mhm.
or crayons, as some people might joke about Marines, to paper. We don't eat our crayons, and and I think those are a great way to manage time. And I like what Shannon said too about time blocking. I think that's extremely important on social media. I think
Mhm.
Yeah.
we can get sucked into being in social media all day because every time we see something, bling, we go, oh, what was that? It's like a squirrel thing. Squirrel, what's that? Oh, so like even with Twitter, outside of Twitter chats,
Mhm.
I'll go out there for like 15 minutes at a time, maybe 2 or 3 times a day, different times of the day to kind of catch up on things, as opposed to being worried about, having to respond instantly. And then another way to time block is don't answer your phone.
Mm.
Don't
Yes.
answer your phone unless it's a scheduled call, because you'll get sucked into conversations that, one, they might, especially if you don't have the number in your contacts.
Mhm.
That's my number one rule. If your number is not in my contacts, I'm not answering it.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to leave me a message. And you may not like me for that, but that's okay. It's my time. As Mr. Hand would say, for those of you who go back, and say when Jeff Spicoli brings in his pizza, we're having pizza on our time. So same thing with the phone. You got to make sure. Have you seen that Fast Times at Ridgemont High, Tim?
A long time ago, I think.
Yes. So we'll see how many remember the Mr. Hand reference. So, but yes,
Yes.
so those are some of my time things, and I would agree with the training on wheels. Yeah, definitely turn. I don't have notifications on my phone, right? I also have my phone on vibrate,
Me
right? Because
too.
that's the last thing we need is for it to be making noise where, like, right now my phone's sitting here, we're in the middle of a live stream. Last thing you guys want to hear is my phone making noises. So
Right.
I think, that's important as well. And those will, I think, help a little bit with managing your time. Do you guys I've set aside time, I think you do too as well, Tim, set aside time for, if you want to call it, self-care, whether it's working out, taking a walk. I think that's important too.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah. I do I do take time to, to take walks and things like that. When it comes to self-care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we have any in the comments from anyone? Anyone have any great idea here?
Oh, there's a question here from Training on Wheels. What's the difference between a VA and EA?
That's a good question.
Yeah. So a VA is virtual assistant. It's just kind of like the terms. VA, virtual assistant. EA is like an executive assistant. So an executive assistant is kind of like they can be virtual or they can be in the office, but they are like the CEO's right hand man. So they do everything. A virtual assistant, they may only have like specialties. Like for me, I do general admin. I do LinkedIn engagement. So those are my specialties. I'm not doing social media management. Things out of that realm I'm not doing because that's what I decide to do. So it's just, it's all in, there's a VA for everything, but just trying to figure out what your needs are. And you speak with them because a lot of people say, oh, I don't do certain things. And, that's what I do. But I'll always, like, if I can't do something, then I'm going to send them to somebody else I know. I never leave people empty handed. So, I make sure everyone is also always taken care of.
That's such a great point. I mean, that is what networking is all about, right? We start to build that bench of people that can help you because, we can't necessarily do everything
Right.
for everyone, or we want to help them by getting someone that we think can actually handle their problems. I love that you say that, Shannon. Don't let them go away empty-handed, and they won't forget you for doing that.
Right. Yes.
And Florence is here.
Hi, Florence.
That's awesome. And Catherine says, wow, Angus Nelson, I got to meet him at Craft Content Nashville a few years ago.
Nice.
So that's awesome. Thank you, all of you, for all of your wonderful comments. Jim, do you want to take the last? I can't believe we're nearing the end of the show here. Can you?
I know.
I can't either.
Yes. Can you take the question here for Shannon?
I can, Tim, if you're really going to make me do it. But what is something that is overlooked but needed to work smarter?
Yes. It's the simplest thing, in my opinion. Everybody has a different opinion, but my opinion is to take breaks. So like we were talking about self-care. That's so important. I am guilty of not taking great self-care, but I'm learning like weekends, those are mine, and it's only work Monday through Friday. That's the hours that I set. So Friday, it was Saturdays and Sundays. Those are my days to take care of myself and do what I need to do. But taking breaks, because, if you don't take a break and you keep going, you will burn out. So those breaks are definitely important, even if it's during the day, like, oh, I need to take a 10-minute, like Tim said, taking a walk, things like that. Go listen to some music, watch a funny show. That's my thing. I like funny shows and true crime docs. So, just getting your mind off of the work, because once you're still like you're in it all the time, you're not paying attention to things. You miss a lot of things. So once you take your mind off of it, you can reset and recharge. So taking breaks is important.
Yeah, definitely.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, this has been a great conversation,
Well,
Shannon.
Wait, Tim. Brian Kennedy
Yes.
has a question. We got.
Oh, yes. Great question. Is managing an online meeting or conference something within the realm of the VA, Shannon?
Yeah, absolutely. It depends, like if who you're seeking out and to see if they do it. But yeah, like Zooms and things like that. Those are Zoom. I forgot what they call it, but like Zoom VAs where they can actually set the the meeting up, the conference. Also, they can manage it while you're just talking. So like managing the comments, watching that, setting up certain things, making sure people get links and things like that. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
Is
that's a
that
great
something that
point.
you do, Shannon? Oh, sorry, Jim.
I haven't done it, but I know I'm gonna try it. So my thing is like if I haven't done something, I'm always willing to learn. So like now I'm learning how to like do remote producing a little bit,
Oh, cool.
like behind the stage. Yeah. So that's been fun. Like with the comments and things like that. I'm always willing to learn because when you stop growing, you stop learning, then like what's the point? So that's like I was in my last job. I wasn't growing. And I had to realize like this is not helping me. When you stunt your growth, you're not doing anything. I want to be better. So I'm always willing to learn. And even with my clients, and they say, "Oh, do you do this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I haven't done it, but I'm willing to learn." I'm researching things like that. I'm talking to people to see if I can do it, but I never give
Right.
people false hope. But yeah, I'm always willing to learn certain things, and try it
That's
out.
great.
Why not? Why not? Life is short.
Exactly.
Try it,
Yes.
so
Yeah. And
yeah.
Brian's also wondering, how important is it to network with other VAs?
Very important. They're part of your support system. And like I like to network with VAs because, like I said earlier, if I don't know how to do something, then I'll refer, this client to somebody else. So, I feel like there's enough out here for everybody. There's no competition. I am who I am. I know what I bring to the table. And there's no competing. That's not like, oh, I'm the stuff, but I am the stuff.
Right.
But like there's enough out here for everybody. I feel like there's and the thing is, like, even if it's a VA like me, I may talk to you differently, or the message may hit home differently from somebody else. So you have to get what fits. It's like therapy. You got to find a therapist that fits. So there's
Right.
somebody out here for everybody. There's enough out here for everybody. So network. I'm a type person. I like to build people up and support. So there's never, I'm always going to do that. I don't want to see somebody suffer or fail. Because that's not what life is about. God told me we need to help others. So at the end of the day, whatever field I'm in, I'm going to help, I'm going to support, I'm going to love, I'm going to care, so that's what I
I
do.
love that. I think that is such an important point that you bring up. I mean, right? I mean, even I think one of the biggest lessons for a small business owner, a new business
Mhm.
owner is one, we tend to undercharge.
Mhm.
Two, um, don't feel like you always got to say yes. You're going
Right.
to say no. Everyone is not for you. And that's where I
Yes.
think the collaboration is important. Send
Mhm.
them to somebody else that. But I'm going to make a caveat on that. Be
Okay.
careful when you send people to other people because if it's someone that you knew was going to be a bad client for you, it
Oh
might
yeah, I
not
wouldn't
be a
do
good.
that.
And then there was like that person you sent me
Yeah.
was not all that great. So
Yeah.
I would say I will add that in. Right, not everything is Dunkin' Donuts
Yes.
and Dunkin' Donuts coffee.
It's coffee. Yeah,
That's
I
kidding.
agree. I won't. It's kind of like I won't ever send somebody that I wouldn't work with. It's kind of like certain things in life, just some people just no. I'm all about energies and vibrations, and like when something doesn't sit right with my soul, like I said, God is not in chaos. So whatever is not sitting right, I can't go with. So that's kind of like how I lead my life with certain things. So yeah.
Yeah, love that training on wheels.
Definitely.
That's so
Yeah.
true. So true.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So Shannon, do you have anything coming up, any services you want to highlight, anything like that before we wrap up the show?
Yeah. So for my services, like I do general admin. So like email management, calendar management, a little project admin assistance, invoicing, as well as like one of my favorite things is LinkedIn engagement assistant. So that's my package that I love to promote, where I basically step into the role of the client. I do their like the inbox management, commenting on, their page, posts, things like that. So I'm taking the role of, especially with like business owners who don't have the time to, they want the visibility, I'm sorry, on LinkedIn, but they don't have the time to do it, especially new business owners. You want to be out there, but you can't, because you're doing 25 million other things. So like I help my clients
Sure.
with that, which they pretty much love. So yeah. Yeah.
That's
Awesome.
great. Thanks for sharing that with us.
Thank you. Thanks for having
Awesome.
me. This was fun.
Yes. lots of great information and lots of laughs for sure.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love to laugh. So, yes, we got to have joy. We got to have joy.
Definitely. Anything you want to add, Jim, before we wrap up
Well,
the show?
couple things for, I wanted to talk about things that we both have coming up. For me,
Yes.
I'll be speaking next week at the Business Summit on how to DIY your personal and professional brand with a video. It's a 30-day event out of Australia, but I'll be speaking from Atlanta, not Australia.
Are you going to bring
I'm going to
do you
be
have an
speaking,
Australian accent?
it's
Are you
probably
gonna
not very
try?
good, so I don't want to offend the Australians. So I won't right now. And then I'll be speaking at People of Video in Albany. Is it Albany, New York? Right?
Albany. Well, I guess it depends where you
In
live.
Georgia, it's Albany, Georgia.
Oh.
It's spelled the same. In Doherty County. And I'll be speaking at People of Video on a panel about the Amazon Influencer Program. So that'll be fun. So that I'll be, I think, I don't know how
That's
far
only
that
a
is
few
from where
hours
you
from
live,
me.
Tim. A few hours?
Yeah.
You should drive up.
I should. Let's talk
Yeah.
after.
Yes. So, but yeah, and then you've got a big event coming up on the 10th, I believe, Tim.
I do, yeah. September 10th.
Yay.
Showing up perspectives on cancer in person. Cancer patients, cancer survivors, supporters coming together in person. Shannon donated towards it. Jim sponsored. Thank you all for your support. We still taking signups until, and it's free. Still taking signups until September 3rd. So still have a few days. Just go to perspectivesoncancer.com to sign up. So excited. Come share your story. Come feel inspired. Come support each other together in person. So excited. Yes. Can't wait.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yes. All right.
The
Awkward
show
silence.
is ending, Tim.
The show is ending. Do we have to end it? I don't want to go, Jim. I don't want to go, but I guess we have to end it. Do we have to? I guess we should.
We'll be back next week. We
for another episode.
We have announced our guest yet, but we will be back next week. We'll
keep you in suspense.
And it's the last day of. Oh, you know what I forgot today is, Tim? Oh my gosh.
What is it?
I'll have to make a social media.
Does it have to do with sports?
No, it has to do with my. Today marks the 13-year anniversary of my retirement from the Marines.
Oh, thank you for your service, Jim.
Yes, thank you.
That's 13. That's like a teenager.
Yeah.
Wow. Yes. Megan's going to be 13
retirement.
in 2 years. Yeah.
Ooh. Yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
Yes.
But yeah. So yeah, I just remembered that, so I'll have to make a post about that.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your service, Jim. And let us know in the comments if you have anything else you want to say so we could drag out the show a little bit longer. Well, thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the Tim and Jim Show. We will see you next week. Have a wonderful week, and let's all dance as we go out. Bye, everyone.